Hello, I just want to talk about Absolvement for a bit. Absolvement is stated as currently in alpha, so there are probably many things that are incomplete or bugs. But from what I have seen so far, there's actually quite a lot of things you can do there. What I have shown might be different from the actual game looks like in the future, so everything I talk about here will only be the things that are available in this version. Now I'll go over their basic system and mechanics. When you first join this game, it will ask you to teleport to the tutorial. I highly recommend you doing this if this is your first time playing the roguelite and roguelike game on Roblox. If not, you just need to know you can dodge, parry, and heavy attack with the same control of those other Roblox games with similar system. After the combat tutorial is your character creation. There are a lot of things in here, so you can take your time to look over everything. The two important things here are probably the race and sins. First is race. Since there are actually quite a lot of selection here, I'm not gonna go over each of them individually, but what you need to know is that each race had their own buff and debuff. There really isn't the best one here, but it really depends on what type of character you want. Next is the sins. There are basically modifiers for your character that give you restriction or debuff. Every character needs to have at least one to start a game. Having more difficult sins will increase your modifier for the amount of soul fragment you will gain. The main way of getting these soul fragments is to wipe or lose all your characters alive. When this happens, everything you did on the character will be tallied, like levels, amount of potentials, enemy defeated, and boss defeated, and it will convert to soul fragments. The soul fragments are one of the currency in the game, which is used to purchase skill points for upgrading the skill tree. The skill tree itself in this game is actually quite large with many options, but all of the upgrades are very linear with branching paths near the end, meaning you will most likely be specializing in a single type of damage, and the only difference you make is the branching path at the end, which will take a very long time of grinding and wiping. The premium currency of this game is called Void Fragments. While their main obtainment method is to buy them in the Robux shop, you can also earn them through daily quests, though don't expect it to give lots of them. With Void Fragment, you can buy different cosmetics, so nothing you buy with Void Fragment really affect your gameplay, besides the different looks. The last currency is gold. This is just your typical currency. The main purpose of it is to buy service from NPCs. In the town, you can use gold to gain boosts from the blacksmith. You can also use gold to buy weapons from blacksmith, but depending on how much money you put in, you can get higher grades or select the types of weapon you want. If not, most of the time you just get low grade random weapons. Sometimes there are also shops in the dungeon, so I would suggest you save some, just in case you need them in the dungeon. For dungeons, this is basically where you will spend most of your time in. As far as I've seen in this game, there are two types of dungeon, a snowy dungeon and a dark church. The only difference I can see from the dungeon are the room layout and the boss you fight at the end. Every time you clear a room, you will be awarded with 1 or 2 potential orbs. These are where you select passive or active skill in the game. One thing to note down is that you have a limit on how much potential you can have, so once you hit that limit, all the room will start giving you chests instead of potentials. To increase your potentials limit, you need to level up, since every level provides you with 10 extra potential spaces and 5 discards. Also, discards is another mechanic in the game to reroll a potential selection, though this can only happen once per potential orb. Sometimes when you break the breakables in the dungeon, there is a chance that a skill fragment or crystal will drop. The crystal can be used to learn specific type of skills, while the fragment can be fused into crystal with 3 fragments. The dungeon itself is randomly generated, so the location and what room showed up is entirely different. There's also a chance to spawn an event portal every time you clear a room. These event portals can lead you to a shop or extra challenge to earn some rewards. When you reach the boss room, you can either go back to clear the other rooms, or just straight up go fight the boss. Either way, it's up to you. For bosses, as far as I can see, there are 2 types of bosses for each of the dungeons. In the Dark Church looking one, you can find a creepy plant monster or a headless dog. In the snowy one, you can find a skinny husk or a giant husk. All of these bosses have their own unique mechanics and attack pattern, so I think the bosses are mostly pretty well made in their own way. So this sums up pretty much what Absolvement is all about. Now I'm going to give my personal opinion on this game. On the visual part, I think it is good. There aren't any places I feel unnatural or feel out of place with the entire theme of the game. So I will give this part a 4 out of 5. For quality of life part, I think most things work fine, but one thing that really bothered me is the inventory. The inventory has a section for potentials, but all it listed there is the name of the potentials. I was hoping it would be categorized into active skills or certain stats, since after a while you start getting more potential and forget what some of them do. It's kinda hard to find what it is if you don't know the name of the potential. Anyway, I would say it's not perfect, but it's not to the point of discomfort, and give this 3 out of 5. Gameplay wise, I would say it's pretty good. The combat isn't too bad and the bosses are somewhat well made, except for the giant husk grab move. I would say if you aren't ready, your character will be gone from that move. While I can see the gameplay loop and ideas for the game, I just don't know how long it will be able to retain players, since all we've been doing is going into the dungeon over and over again, so I will say it's about 3 out of 5. The amount of time you'll need to spend on this game is very long, and your only activity is to run a dungeon, so I think it's more of a game that appeals to a niche group instead of a general public. From my point of view, you'll probably like playing this game in the beginning, but burns out in about a few days or weeks. To me, it is more of a I will check it out once in a while type of game, which in terms of if it's worth your time, I would say it's about 3 out of 5, pretty average. From what pay items are on sale, all of it is cosmetic item, so nothing affect your gameplay. There is a way to earn premium currency, but it has diminishing return after each completion until it resets every day. When I complete the quest for the first time, they gave me 6 void fragments, so it will take a while for you to collect enough void fragment just to get one piece of cosmetic item, but it is definitely possible. I will say the price from using the real world money is worth it if you like the style and would like to support the game. Personally, I think the usage of money will be a 4 out of 5 as it is there and does not give you the pressure to that you needed to play the game, or overpriced. Overall, comparing to the maximum score with the score I gave, I would say this is about a 68% a great game, so I can recommend people to at least check it out. Anyway, that's all I have to say.